Good morning, Stacey Pinto live in Pender County, bringing you the latest details on a deadly plane crash that happened over the weekend. I'll have more coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks. Well, today we should learn more about a plane crash that killed a pilot over the weekend in Pender County.
I was looking on Twitter to see if any updates from the NTSB has come down, but so far nothing from the private airfield where the plane took off. That's where the plane went down, just outside of the Topsail Airfield. And
Carolina in the morning, Stacey Pinto live in Pender County. She's bringing us the very latest this morning.
Good morning, guys. That's right. We are getting a closer look at the wreckage. On the other part of your screen, you can see a picture that was sent to us of that plane crash. We do know the NTSB is working hard to try to determine what caused this plane to go down on Sunday afternoon. We do know that the pilot's body was found just south of the Topsail Air Park, where we are, just off of Highway 17 in Holly Ridge. Now, some details that we have learned about the pilot. We do know that his name is Dillard Powell, and he was 89 years old. He was from Cary, and according to a family friend, he did fly in World War II and recently had his plane serviced. His plane took off a little after 3 on Sunday afternoon and was headed to the Albert J. Ellis Airport in Jacksonville. When he never showed up, he was reported missing. As the investigation continues, other pilots in the area are keeping a close eye on what the NTSB determines the cause of the crash. Again, we are expecting to learn more details at a press conference this afternoon at 3 p.m. We are told that crews will be out here cleaning up the wreckage, and they are expected to be out here for the next 3 to 5 days. So definitely stay with WECT on air and online as we continue to bring you the latest details, especially around 3 o'clock when that press conference is. But for now, reporting in Pender County, I'm Stacey Pinto for Carolina in the Morning. Guys, back to you. Good morning, Stacey Pinto live, talking to you about some changes that could potentially happen to our historic sites if Governor Pat McCrory's nearly $3 billion bond is approved. I'll explain more coming up in just a few minutes.
Good morning, and thanks for watching this morning. I'm Kim Ratcliffe.
I'm Bob Bond with the second hour of the show completely underway now. The governor and North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources teaming up to make some pretty big changes to the Battleship North Carolina, but they're also going to need some help in doing that.
That's right. Secretary Susan Klutz of the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources has been traveling around the area trying to promote Governor McCrory's nearly $3 billion bond to help improve transportation and also infrastructure around the state.
Carolina in the Morning, Stacey Pinto now joining us live this morning. So Stacey, what are the changes and what help can people do?
Good morning, guys. Now, these changes that would happen to the Battleship are different than the repairs that we've talked about before. These changes that this bond would propose would be more tourist upgrades, but a lot has to happen in order for those changes to happen to the Battleship. Now, legislature would have to put this bond on the ballot, and then voters would have to approve that in November. But if all that happens, this is what upgrades would happen to the Battleship. $11.5 million of Governor Pat McCrory's Connect NC bond would go to those improvements. So now some of those improvements would be upgrades to the parking facilities. I'm sure we all know that when we get heavy amounts of rain, that sometimes that visitors parking lot does flood, so definitely some parking enhancements there, as well as a new visitor center and a new cafe that has indoor and outdoor seating. But perhaps one of the most important upgrades would be an ADA accessible bridge that would help make the Battleship more accessible for all ages and walking capabilities. Now, the Secretary says they know how important tourism is to our economy and thinks these improvements would be a win-win situation.
We have not had the opportunity to promote as much and increase visitation as we would like to do. And you know, often we have people who will make special trips to Wilmington just to visit the Battleship, and then they'll go somewhere else to have lunch. And so we see this as a way to give them, to enhance the visitor experience, as well as to raise revenues.
Now, if you want to know more about what this bond could bring to our historical sites, the Secretary will be at the Battleship at 10 and then at Fort Fisher at 3. So you can definitely head out there any of those times and maybe talk to her a little bit more about this. You can also head to our website, foxwilmington.com. We have all the details listed on there. But for now, reporting live, I'm Stacey Pinto for Carolina in the Morning. Guys, back to you.